Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gene Curl. If you're new here, this is a series I'm doing of reading my mission journal, and this is the 16th episode of reading my mission journal. And I journal daily on my mission, so I've got wrote a lot. And so with that, I'm going to get started. I'm going to start off where I left off in the last episode. And people have asked me why I am doing this series. And I just want to do it so that people know what it's like to serve a mission. A lot of people haven't served a mission and they have no idea what it's like. And so this is kind of an overview of what a mission is like. Tuesday, July 1st, 2003. Mostly clear and hot and windy. We spent all morning at the pad because Elder W was sick. I spent the time studying. Elder W, the district leader, called just before 9:30 a.m. and said that he was a little worried about Elder W and asked how things were going. He told me to call him if I need anything, like I did before. He also asked me to call our Relief Society president and remind her that she was in charge of food for her zone conference. I called her as soon as Elder W hung up. I received a package from Mom and a birthday card from President and Sister Willis. I opened the card but decided to save the package until my birthday. We did not leave the pad until it was time to do some service. We helped clean the lady's house so that she could move out. It was filthy. I have seen dumps that were cleaner than her house. I mowed the grass, then helped haul the trash out of the garage. Besides Elder W and I, there was the bishop and 5 members of the church. After we cleaned up from service, we went to Kamala's and taught her the 4th and 5th discussion. She made us some more lemon squares. We set the baptismal service for Friday, the 11th of July. Then we picked up dinner from Sister Kay and ate it at the pad. We taught Napua and Nohia the 4th discussion at the F family's house. After the discussion, we talked to their mother, and she said that she does not have a problem with them getting baptized. She just wants to make sure that they want to keep all the commitments they make at baptism. Napua said that she might have a hard time quitting drinking green tea. I again told her that what it does to your stomachs, in hopes that she will keep her commitment to not drink tea. It rained pretty hard after we got home. I used to tell, because it's against the word of wisdom of the church to drink tea, so I used to tell people that tea will mess up your stomach. I had no research on this. I just believed that if the church said it was bad, then it must be bad. And so I'd tell people that it would mess up your stomach, when in reality, all of the medical research shows that tea is good for you. Wednesday, July 2nd, 2003. It was cloudy early on, but it cleared up very nicely. It was hot with a light wind. When we went to teach Frank, we had to reschedule because he was busy helping the S family prepare for their party. We went to the other elders' pad to pick up my shirts from Elder shirts, and Elder W decided that we should stay there a while so he could copy Elder N's 3rd discussion visuals. Then we went to visit a few people after spending almost an hour at Elder N's pad. And then we went to our pad around 11:45 p.m. or a.m. I mean. After lunch, we stayed just under 2 hours so that Elder W could make more 3rd discussion visuals. I received a card from Liz. We went and set up an appointment with Erin to teach her the 2nd discussion. We visited the bishop to find out about a few people on the ward list. Elder W said to the bishop, "Our mission president might call you before long." "Why?" the bishop asked. "To check up on me." Why, the bishop asked. "To check up on me?" "No," Elder W said, "to check up on me to see if I am doing missionary work." He also said the president was going to call the stake president and a few other people. We went to the bishop's niece house, which was the very next house, to see if she could fellowship Aaron. We came back to the pad about 30 minutes before Elder W and Elder P was to meet us there. When they came, they followed us to Kamala's house for the interview. Elder W, the district leader, interviewed her while the rest of us stayed in the house. Kamala will be baptized Friday, July 11th at 6 p.m. Outside by the cars, before leaving, Elder W asked if we could pick up some other elders for zone conference, and I said yes. The elder said no, but finally consented to it. On the way back, Elder W and I stopped at Burger King and picked up some dinner and ate it at the pad. We baked some cookies and brought them to the S families to thank them for their missionary work and talked for a little while before we left. We then went to visit the T family and asked about their friends that they are trying to share the gospel with. Before I left, I shared the story of the stonecutter who wanted to be everything that he was not, just to find out that what he really wanted was what he already had. We came home around 9 p.m. I really wish that Elder W would try to use every moment to the fullest and not waste any time. After we closed the day, I cleaned the car and then the apartment a little, like vacuuming the floor. It rained pretty hard tonight after 10 p.m. Thursday, July 3rd, 2003, clear and hot, light wind. We left our pad just before 8 a.m. to pick up Elder P and his companion from the bus stop at Walmart. We made it back to the Kapa'a Chapel just before 9 a.m. When the President interviewed me, we first talked about my companionship, and he asked if Elder W had changed any. I told him that Elder W is a lot more professional since the night that President, called me about him. President told me that he knows that sometimes it can be challenging, and he expects me to keep up what I have been doing and is depending on me staying obedient and helping to resolve the problem. I asked President if my having a bad childhood meant that I was somewhat less than diligent in the pre-existent. President said that it means exactly the opposite and gave me examples of Christ, Job, etc. Zone conference went very well, but I will not talk much about it because I took notes and received handouts. When Elder W, the district leader, introduced his training on Captain Planet, President said, I can't wait to see how this turns out. I can't wait to see how this ties into missionary work. Relief Society from the Kapa'a Second Ward provided a very good lunch for us. After lunch, some sisters from the Zone Leaders Ward came to sing and played a special musical number. I stand all amazed. President gave a training on mighty prayer. Elder W asked him what to do when you just bless the food out of duty and not from your heart because you do it so often. President replied was, don't say that, Elder W. The Lord might hear you and put you into a situation where the food will make you sick, that you would wish, so sick that you would wish to die, and even think that it would be a joy. If the Lord does not, let me know, and I will put you someplace where it will happen. Be very grateful for all the food you receive. After President was through with his remarks, Sister D and Elder N bore their testimonies. Elder W and I got 94% on the pad and 86% on the card. We forgot to bring the area books. When President was giving me all of my letters back, he asked if he could have the attached pages to one of them, and I said that he could. He kept the ones about Elder W and said that he wanted them for his records. When we got back to the pad, I was highly disappointed because I did not have any packages and the only mail in the box was the registration for my bike and a letter from Mom. We had chili dogs with the F family and Brother F kept asking what my weakness is. Elder W told him that my weakness is patience. Elder W was talking jokingly about how he will treat his wife and how she will be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. I did not think that it was appropriate. Next, we visited the bishop to find out if there were any ward activities tomorrow, but there are not. We visited the S family and the T family and tried to set up a family home evening with our neighbors. It rained a little tonight. Friday, July 4th, 2003. And you can see it's my birthday. And it's 4th of July. Friday, July 4th, 2003. Mostly clear and hot with light wind. The first thing that I did this morning, after prayer of course, was to open my birthday package from Mom. Inside was some newspaper clippings, an Idaho t-shirt, and a tie with the Idaho Falls Temple on it, and a couple of books on math so that I could study and get my grades up so I can go to college when I get home from my mission. The first thing that we did this morning was to do service for the C family. We helped them clean up the banana patch. We left around 12 p.m. to have lunch and then went to the S families to paint their living room. No one was home, but they left a note telling us where the paint was and just to go ahead and paint. We had to hunt for the supplies and had to borrow a ladder from Brother G. We found an Arizona tea can on the counter in the kitchen, so I left a pamphlet from the fourth discussion and highlighted the part about tea. We found out that we painted with the wrong color paint, but oh well, it will give us a chance to do some service next week. Sister V called this morning to tell me that my mother called and said happy birthday. We picked Elder N and Elder R up at around 5:30, and we all went to the S family's 4th of July party. I went to shake Sister O's hand and she grabbed me and tried to give me an aloha kiss, but I did not let her. If I had not been on a mission, I would have so let her kiss me because she is young, about 20, and very, very pretty. But as much as I wanted to let her kiss me, I wanted to be obedient even more, so I refused her and politely explained the rules that she should have known because her husband is a returned missionary. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. It is a habit." I told her that it was okay, just don't scare me like that anymore. Brother O said to me, if I was on my mission and someone that pretty wanted to kiss me, I would let them. I really enjoyed myself, though the noise was loud and it was highly unpatriotic. Not even the Star Spangled Banner. The food was Samoan, and I ate some octopus. It was not bad, but I don't plan on making it a regular dish. Sister O asked me a couple of times to sit with her, but I would not. Brother and Sister O joined us on the table, and Sister O again asked me a couple of times to sit with her, but I would not. I talked with the O family most of the time that we were there. When we left, we went to a place that overlooked the ocean to watch the fireworks, but there were not many. The other elders sang me happy birthday, and we took the other elders home and got back to our pad just before 9:30 p.m. Overall, I had a pretty good birthday. I really enjoyed whacking the banana trees with a machete. I wish, though, that there had been a lot more patriotism shown today. Saturday, July 5th, 2003. Clear and hot, we visited Ben and Hope to try to set up another appointment. And we visited Napua and Nohea and made sure that their appointment was still good. And we visited the F family and the older F family. Sister F, Starnani, gave me a birthday bag which had a birthday card and socks in it. We went to visit Erin, but she was asleep, so we talked to her soon-to-be ex-husband. He seemed like a really nice guy. I think that they could save the marriage if they tried. We ate lunch at the pad. I was a little disappointed because I did not receive any mail today. After lunch, we went to the S families to ask about Sabrina and Nikki, and to make sure that Sister S was not upset because I used the wrong paint on the walls yesterday. We visited the T family, and they said that they would feed us tonight. We went to talk to Frank, but he was not home. The bishop showed up to pick up some stuff the S family borrowed from the ward. We talked to him for a little while, and then we walked over to the T family's house and helped him catch his horse, and then talked for a while. When we went to dinner at the T family's house, Ron and Starnani was there. We had a very good dinner, and after dinner we all talked a little. All of a sudden the lights went out and I saw Sister T walking with the birthday cake, and everyone sang me happy birthday. I was so touched that they would do this for me because I almost cried. I am not used to people doing kind things for me, and this was only the second birthday cake in my whole life. I wanted to always remember, so I gathered everyone together and had Elder W take the picture. Before we left, I made sure to tell them how grateful I was for their love And I said, you did not have to, and you were not expected to do anything for me. I am touched by it and very grateful for it. I want you to know this will be recorded in my journal. I wanted to hug everyone, but to be obedient, I just shook their hands. Also, when I told them that it was only my second birthday cake, they cried. We visited Brother G for a little while and then came home. We talked to our neighbor for a while. Elder W thought that he had broken one of the pipes, so he said, "How much do I owe you for that joint?" Everyone, except the visitors, thought it sounded like he was buying drugs, so we all laughed. Then Elder W explained it. One of our neighbor's relatives is visiting from California and is a very attractive young lady by the name of, I can't remember her name. I am not very good with names. Oh, I just remembered it. It is Nicole. Her mother is Joanne. The mother is a very inactive member. The daughter, Nicole, is not a member. Sunday, July 6, 2003. Clear and hot. In sacrament meeting, I bore my testimony and made note of the T and the F for their efforts yesterday. But I made no mention of names. During Sunday school, a lady came up and gave me a flower lei and tried to give me an aloha hug and kiss. I tried my best to stop her, but she succeeded in her design. In Elders Quorum, one elder, Brother T, and the Elders Quorum president said something about being able to tell how a person is by looking at their family. I objected and said that is not always true. My father and I are night and day different. If people were to judge me on his merits, I would not have half a chance. You should judge people by their own merits, not by anyone else's. We taught Napua and Nohea the 5th and 6th discussion at the F family's home. Elder W told me a few anti-women jokes, which I did not appreciate. I told the F family how I felt about it, and Sister F appreciates my opinion. We visited Erin for a while, and we asked her if she wanted to save her marriage, and she said, no, not now. We made sure that our appointment was still on, which changed to Tuesday. We had dinner with the O family, and it was barbecue, and we ate outside. Sister O, the daughter-in-law from Oahu, told me that she almost cried when I mentioned in sacrament that it was only the second cake I had ever received. When we came home, we talked to the neighbor for a while, and they gave us some shirts. Their friends from California asked us a lot of questions about the church, and one of the crazy questions that she asked is, can you have sex on your mission? Perhaps we can teach them a little before they go home. Monday, July 7th, 2003. It was clear and hot most of the day, but it rained around 10 p.m. Elder W, the district leader, called this morning and tried to talk us into playing basketball, but when I told him that we would not, he was unhappy. I tried unsuccessfully to cash the check the bishop in of the New Nu'uanu Award mailed to me. The bank told me that they only cash checks from their bank. I wrote letters to President Willis and a whole bunch of other people. We did our laundry at the other elder's pad, and when Elder N saw me with my math book, he said, "That's not approved." I got permission from the president, I responded. For your information, if you see me doing anything, you can be sure that I have permission. Elder W and Elder N went to check the mail, and I received a birthday card from my cousin Lynn, and a birthday card and a letter from Heidi. In Heidi's letter, she said, "Have you not been getting my letters? All you seem to want to talk about is how I never write, and I have been writing." I felt bad that I had even mentioned it to her, and I wrote her another letter and let her know that I received all of her letters today. Elder N received a Trunky video from home and watched it a few times. We all gave him a hard time about being Trunky. When we say somebody's being Trunky, that means that they're being homesick and wanting to go home. Elder W and I went to the J family for dinner, but we were a little late, so they gave us a box of pizza. We talked to them a while and then they gave us some leftovers from their yard sale. We went and talked to Ben and Hope and set up an appointment for tomorrow. We went to the S family's house to try to catch Sabrina. Sister S asked us to teach family home evening. Sabrina was there and she is ready to visit with us again. All through the night, the S family's boys, probably 9 and 11, were giving their mother a hard time. I tried to get them to obey her. When I see kids acting that way towards their parents, especially their mother, I feel like beating the snot out of them. Tuesday, July 8th, 2003. Clear, hot, light wind. We went to the other pad at 7:30 a.m. and Elder W and Elder Ian went to the doctor. And Elder R and I stayed and studied until 9:30 a.m. and then we went to teach Aaron and Johnny. Frank was the only one home and he was sick, so after he assured us that he was okay, we left a message for Ian and Johnny and headed for district meeting. At district meeting, Elder W, the district leader, was talking about how we should not be down on ourselves if we have a bad week, but be happy. I told him that I don't know how anyone could be satisfied only teaching one discussion or even none at all. Elder W did not really appreciate my comment, but the sisters agreed with me. After district meeting, Elder R went with Elder W to take the other elders to the bus stop, and I stayed with Elder P so he could certify one of the sisters. Elder R and I went to his pad for lunch. We stayed together so that Elder N could go with Elder W to interview Nopua and Nohia for baptism. After lunch, we followed up on some people in the Kapa'a First area, and then we went on a team-up with the former bishop. We visited some investigators and then went tracting. We were not able to teach, but met a lot of nice people, and our team-up is a pro at talking to people. After tracting, we visited an investigator that lives by our team-up. We had dinner with the M family. I was happy that they fed us Mexican food. I shared a dinner message on a farmer who had exceedingly straight rows and it let his son plow and his son messed him up. I had a picture taken of me with him. It was hard to leave because they did not want to let us go. They like talking to us and get bored by themselves. We decided to spend the rest of the night street contacting. Passing the ABC store, we saw the Aslet cleaning van and decided to stop and talk. We walked to the ABC store and talked with the A family. They are related to Don Aslet that owns the cleaning place in Idaho. Before we left the store, a guy came up to us and told us that everyone told him that they should have taken a picture of him with the Mormons at the party on the 4th of July. It was strange being around the A family, all members, because they are from Idaho and Utah, and some of them are fairer skinned than me. When I got home to my pad, I was pleased to find that I had a package from Brother B. I like the candy and the pigskins. I like the stamps, and I love the patriotic tie, but what I like the best of all is the very touching birthday card. What it says is more important than all of the gifts. Brother M told me at dinner that Paul Harvey said Pocatello, Idaho is America's fastest growing ghost town. Wednesday, July 9th, 2003. It was a little cloudy early on, but most of the day was clear and hot with a light breeze. We stopped by the S family to talk to Ian and Johnny, but Frank was the only one home. We stopped by Sabrina's house to see if Dave would go on a team-up with us tomorrow. Dave was not home, but Sabrina and David's sister was. Sabrina gave us a hard time for not going into her house while they were in it. Before we left, she gave us some perfume and aftershave. We visited the S families to ask about Nicky, and then we left for the hospital so Elder W could have something done about his ingrown toenail. It seemed so strange to be by myself while the doctor worked on Elder W. I wanted to share the gospel with someone, but there was not anyone in the waiting room. We got back to the pad for lunch at 12:30 p.m. and did not leave until 2 p.m. We visited the T family and committed Sister T to give a talk on baptism and their daughters to give the opening and closing prayer. Then we went to the F family to commit Sister F to give the talk on the Holy Ghost, and Sister F was not home, but Brother F said that she would be happy to give the talk. We had dinner with Cindy, Kamala's mom, After dinner, we visited the C family and a few other people. Elder W said that his foot was killing him, so we came home at 7:30 p.m. From 7:30 to 9 p.m. and stayed from 7:30 to 9 p.m. I was working on the baptismal program for Napua Onahia. It rained pretty hard tonight. I think I will read one more day. Thursday, July 10th, 2003. It rained hard this morning, but it cleared up. It was clear most of the day. Light wind. We taught Ben and Hope the fourth discussion. The spirit was strong, and I know that Hope felt it, but she cried a lot and said that she wanted to get active again. Ben wants to get baptized, but says there is something holding him back, and he is not sure what. We had lunch with him and then came to the pad. I am not sure why. Almost as soon as we got to the pad, I told Elder W that I was ready to leave as soon as he was. I received a letter from my sister Jane that I owe 32 cents on. I will pay it tomorrow. We left the pad after 30 minutes or so. We went to visit Brother G to have him make a program for the baptism on Sunday. We had a hard time finding anyone home today because of girls' camp. We stopped by to visit the O family, the younger O family, for a while, and then had a picture taken of me with them. We visited Brother D for a while, and he showed us around and told us that we could play racquetball or tennis anytime we want. He is going to take us golfing on the 22nd. Earlier today, before we left the pad, I was taking out the trash and saw Elder W's president's letter in it. I could not resist looking to see what he said about me. He told President that he usually likes everyone, but he thinks the President should reconsider this one. He said that it was challenging to have me as a companion because we are so different, and there could not be any companionship so different, and President must have seen what was going to happen, putting us together. He asked President to reconsider having me with this elder. I don't really care what Elder W thinks of me. I just want to do my best always when leaving the pad this morning. Nicole, our neighbor, came up to me to talk and scared me because she is pretty. She was scantily clad and was very flirty with me. We had dinner with the A family, and they had mainland food. This family is a great family, and we spent a lot of the rest of the night trying to find baptismal clothes, but did not have any success because everyone was at girls' camp. We went to the F family's home, and the younger F family was there too. I told Starnani that I think she will do a very good job at her talk on Sunday at the baptism. I told her not to be nervous because I am going to sing a solo for the intermission. Sister F tried to get me to sing for her, but I refused on the grounds that I could not remember the words. Well, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments down below, and I will do my best to answer your questions. And other than that, I will catch you in the next episode.